Okay, very good evening, you all. Welcome back to CUET PG Malviya Academy. How are you all? How is your preparation going on? I'm welcoming you all here in this series. You know that this is a series of important 500 MCQs which were already asked in your examinations. Here in this series, I'll be focusing on important questions and I will also be explaining you all those options mentioned in your question, in respective question. We will also get to know important exam-oriented facts regarding these questions, and we will also expect that few questions from this series would be asked in your upcoming exam for sure. So I hope you all were there in the last classes and you have enjoyed those sessions. Very good evening, Shipra, Anjali, Datta, Saurabh. Very good evening, you all, student. I'm very happy to see you all here. Alright, so are you clear about the last classes, last questions which we already have discussed? Is those points clear? Making sure I'm clearly audible to you. Make me sure I'm clearly audible to you. Can you hear me? Is it better? Should I begin this session? Are you all ready? Are you excited for important questions which were asked in your examinations? All right, great. So the first question on your screen is, you all know Malviya Academy had launched test series. You can join test series and at discounted price, as you can see, test series you can get at the cost of 199 only. So you can consider, and if you want to study English literature, if you are preparing for the upcoming exam of CUET MA English, so there if you are not feeling prepared, if you have not prepared well for the upcoming exam, you can also consider Umeed Batch, which was already launched, and there I'll be teaching you important topics. I hope you got my point. So all right, let's begin this session, and the first question on your screen is, Mac Flecknoe, which is an important satirical play, is an attack on Dryden's literary rival, and you can figure it out who is that literary rival of John Dryden. Mac Flecknoe is considered as an important drama and important satirical poem written by John Dryden. So you are saying B, most of you are answering B. So yes, B is the correct option. John Dryden talked about Shadwell, Thomas Shadwell, in his writing, in his satirical writing entitled as Mac Flecknoe. Can you tell me other important works of Dryden, John Dryden? John Dryden, who is an important satirical poet of Restoration period. Can you tell me important works of John Dryden? He was also an important critic. Absalom and Achitophel, Preface to Fables, very good. An essay on dramatic poetry, because John Dryden was a satirist, playwright, and very important literary critic of Restoration age. And his important critical works, you must remember, are Preface to Fables and an essay on dramatic poetry. apart from this, you must remember All for Love. Okay, this is very important drama by John Dryden. He has written The Rival Ladies. He is the author of the satirical poem like Macflick, no? Sanji. Alright, so the next question on your screen is Byron's The Vision of Judgment is a satire directed against whom? Byron, who is the author of the work entitled The Vision of Judgment, this is a satirical work. It is directed against which of the following writer? In your options, you have Charles Lamb, John Keats, Henry Hallam and Robert Southey. What should be the correct answer? Yes, you are saying D. I hope I also discussed this question in the last session, right? I have discussed it. I told you there Robert Southey is one of Lake poets. You all know that there are 3 Lake poets in English literature along with William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge and Southey, because all of them were living in the Lake District of England. That is why they are considered as Lake poets. Okay. If you have remembered about Robert Southey, he was very influential writer in Romantic period. And do you know who was Henry Hallam? Which of the following poet of English literature had written the work by while dedicating Hallam for Henry Hallam? Who is that particular author and what is the name of that particular work? Bataiye, what is the name of that particular work and who is that particular author? Yes, अल्फ्रेड लॉर्ड टेनिसन ने लिखा है कौन सा वर्क? Alfred Lord Tennyson has written In Memoriam. Okay, this is an important writing of Alfred Lord Tennyson, who was an important Victorian novelist. I hope this question is clear to you all. Must remember, Byron is the author of an important work, that is The Vision of Judgment. This is very important work. Okay. The next question on your screen is that clear? ये question आप लोगों को समझ में आया या नहीं? Oh, Kashish, it was actually scheduled for yesterday, but I was not feeling well yesterday. That is why I couldn't be able to take your class. And that is why the class was rescheduled for today. There was some glitch where you didn't get the notification for this class. No worries, I have only discussed 2 questions in this session yet. Let's move to the next question. Are you all clear about this question? Do you want to ask any question? We will be discussing about Charles Lamb and John Keats in the upcoming sessions. Charles Lamb, who is an important essayist of English literature, and John Keats, very influential representative poet of Romantic period, who died at early age. And he is very enthusiastic author. He had written intellectual works. Okay, that's great then. Next question on screen is read the following statements and the region given for it. Assertion region type के question कहते हैं इसको. एग्जाम में एनटीए बहुत सारा क्वेश्चन असर्शन रीजन से पूछता है और इस टाइप के क्वेश्चन यूजीसी नेट एग्जामिनेशन में ज्यादा फेमस है. असर्शन रीजन्स के जो क्वेश्चन होते हैं वो यूजीसी नेट एग्जाम के लिए ज्यादा फेमस है. ठीक है. Dickens novels are called Newgate novels. The first, you can say, assertion is mentioned in your syllabus. Here, in this kind of question, there are two statements made as an assertion and region. In the first statement, there is a problem, and in the second statement, you can have the region for the particular cause, for the particular problem, and you will have to figure it out whether the assertion is right or the region is right or both of these statements are right. So the question is, read the following statements and the region given for it. Choose the right sequence. Whether A and R, assertion and region, both are correct or not. While assertion is correct, only A is correct or only R is correct. Assertion में है Dickens novels are called Newgate novels, and in the region you have they are called so because Dickens adulterates in these novels the careers and adventures of criminals. And in options it is mentioned both A and R is the correct explanation. In the second option, both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation. In the third option, assertion is true, but region is false. In the last option, you have assertion is false, but region is right. What would be the correct option? Is Charles Dickens' novel known as Newgate novels? Most of you are saying A. Is it fine? Is this correct option? Should I mark it? Should I lock it? Lock कर दो आंसर. Very good, very good, well done. So A is the correct option. ठीक है. जब भी एग्जाम में इस टाइप का क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है तो आपको बहुत ही केयरफुली ध्यान में रखना है कि आप असर्शन पढ़ो, स्टेटमेंट्स पढ़ो और उसके साथ रीजंस को भी केयरफुली पढ़ो. ऐसे क्वेश्चंस में बच्चे बहुत जल्दी घबराकर कोई भी ऑप्शन टिक कर देते हैं. उनको बहुत हार्ड लगता है स्टेटमेंट को पढ़ना. तो आप लोगों को मैं सजेस्ट कर रही हूँ कि आपके अपने एग्जाम में आप ये गलती मत करना. स्टेटमेंट बड़ा सा देखकर डर मत जाना, उसको केयरफुली देखना, अटेंटिवली पढ़ना एंड देन जस्ट फिगर इट आउट द ऑप्शन. इज माय पॉइंट क्लियर? एंड आपके ये जो क्वेश्चन मैंने दिखाया है, असर्शन रीजन्स बेस्ट क्वेश्चन कहते हैं इसको. असर्शन रीजन बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस में हर बार ऐसे ही ऑप्शंस आते हैं. पहले ऑप्शन में रहेगा कि असर्शन एंड रीजन दोनों सही है एंड रीजन इज द करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन. फिर दूसरे ऑप्शन में रहेगा कि असर्शन एंड रीजन आर ट्रू बट रीजन इज नॉट करेक्ट. थर्ड ऑप्शन में रहेगा कि असर्शन सही है, रीजन गलत है. और चौथे में रीजन सही है, असर्शन गलत है. तो ये चारों ऑप्शंस आपको दिखेंगे. लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Who among the following writers does not belong to the group of university wit? You all know university wit is an important phrase used for 16th century playwrights and pamphleteers who were graduated from either University of Oxford or the University of Cambridge. They all were there before Shakespeare, and that is why their writings, their plays are considered as pre-Shakespearean dramas. They all have laid the foundation for the flourishment of Shakespearean plays. All right. So you have these writers' name. Okay. So there, this question also I was discussed. In E, you have none. Thomas Kidd was not from any university. This is repeated question. Sorry for that because I already have discussed it. Thomas Kidd was not from any university, but his writing style is similar to those of authors who come under university weight, and they all were influential in Elizabethan period. Okay, so this question is extremely important. Next question for you is, MacPlackno is an, okay, all right, this question, Hemingway's novel A Farewell to Arms is divided into how many books? Sorry for the repetition of the question, there was some mistakes. Okay, yes, Hemingway, you all know Ernest Hemingway. क्योंकि आपके सिलेबस में अमेरिकन लिटरेचर मेंशन नहीं है, लेकिन बहुत बार क्वेश्चंस वर्ल्ड लिटरेचर से पूछा जाता है, एंड अर्नेस्ट हेमिंगवे इज वेरी पॉपुलर राइटर who had written A Farewell to Arms. You have to find it out in how many books Ernest Hemingway has written this particular work. So most of you are saying into 5 books. Is this correct answer? Should I lock it? Can you tell me other major works written by Ernest Hemingway? Yes, very popular line you have mentioned, 𝐂𝐻𝐍𝐓𝐀𝐂𝐓, that a man can be destroyed but can never be defeated. Very popular line, and this line was asked in UGC NET exam. Yes, apart from A Farewell to Arms, you must remember Old Man and Sea. Old Man and the Sea. Okay, you also need to remember For Whom Bell Tolls. These are other major works by these are other major works by Ernest Hemingway. So D is the correct option. 5 books. A Farewell to Arms was written into 5 books. Next question on your screen is, poems descriptive of rural life and scenery is written by which of the following writer? William Wordsworth, Robert Southey, John Clare, or Thomas Gay? Which of the following writer who had written poems descriptive of rural life and scenery? John Clare. Do you know about John Clare? John Clare, tell me about important points. Tell me some significant facts about John Clare. Clare has written this particular work, Poems Descriptive Rural Life and Scenery. Clare belongs to which particular period? Is he British author or American author? Very good. He was there in Romantic age. John Clare has written poems descriptive of rural life and scenery. Okay. Next question you have, which of the following characters of Webster's The White Devil utters the memorable words, "Oft gay and honored robes those tortured try, we think caged birds sing when indeed they cry"? Which of the following character you can find while you can reading these lines? Which particular character had uttered these lines? Oft gay and honored robes those tortures cry, we think caged birds sing when indeed they cry. This is very important line, and you all know John Webster, who is an important writer. John Webster, who is an important post-Shakespearean writer, and his writings, his plays are primarily known for revenge tragedy. Can you tell me important work of John Webster? John Webster has written The White Devils, and he has also written The Duchess of Malfi. The White Devil and The Duchess of Malfi. The Duchess of Malfi is very important play, and in your exam NTA has asked the direct question from The White Devil and The Duchess of Malfi for several times. You must read John Webster, whose writing style is primarily known for the element of revenge. He was there in Jacobean period. His writings were also flourished in the latter part of Elizabethan age, and he was an important post-Shakespearean dramatist along with Ben Jonson, Dekker, Thomas Dekker, Beaumont and Fletcher, and Chapman, George Chapman and Thomas Middleton. Is my point clear to you all? So this dialogue was stated by who? You have to figure it out that who is the particular character who has narrated, who has said this particular dialogue. What should be your answer? Because this is very important thing and the character was asked in exam. So you must be very clear. Why I am focusing on this question? Because in your exam they ask question from important dialogue sometimes. Okay. So अगर आप किसी पर्टिकुलर मेजर ट्रेजेडी को पढ़ रहे हैं, मेजर कॉमेडी को पढ़ रहे हैं, हिस्ट्री प्लेस को पढ़ रहे हैं, तो उस प्ले का जो इम्पोर्टेंट लाइन है, आई नो कि इतनी जल्दी याद नहीं होगा, बट आप प्रीवियस ईयर पेपर्स देखोगे और जितने क्वेश्चंस आए हैं एटलीस्ट आप उतना याद कर लोगे, उतनी लाइन्स याद कर लोगे, तो ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आपसे आसानी से बनेंगे. ओके, सो ए इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन for you is, all great literature is at bottom a criticism of life. This is very popular question. This was asked in the exam of UGC NET as well. You have to figure it out what would be the correct option, that which of the following author said that all great literature is at bottom a criticism of life. And basically you all have heard this line that literature is the criticism of life. Literature is a criticism of life. Literature is the criticism of life. You all know Matthew Arnold. Very good. Matthew Arnold, who is an important critic in Victorian period. Matthew Arnold, who is an important poet, writer and satirist, not satirist but critic in Victorian period, who has written The Study of Poetry. The Study of Poetry is very important critical work by Matthew Arnold. The Study of Poetry, in which he had propounded the concept of the touchstone method. और डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन यहां से एग्जाम में आया हुआ है, तो आप याद रखिएगा द टचस्टोन मेथड. ठीक है. द स्टडी ऑफ पोएट्री, which is very influential critical work where he has propounded the method of the touchstone method. In the work entitled as The Study of Poetry, Matthew Arnold states that he had made an important statement that literature is a criticism of life. Okay, so B is the correct option. Is it clear? Yes, he had also written Culture and Anarchy, very important work. So we will be studying Matthew Arnold later. You all know Thomas Carlyle, very important writer in English literature who is primarily known for his essays. J.S. Mill, who has written, can you tell me the major work of J.S. Mill, who is a philosopher, political thinker and writer as well. John Ruskin, who has given the concept of pathetic fallacy. John Ruskin is very important writer in Indian English literature who has given the concept of pathetic fallacy. एंड पैथेटिक फैलेसी से भी क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में आपके पूछा गया है, तो याद रखिएगा, इफ दिस क्वेश्चन वाज आस्क्ड टू यू हु हैज गिवन द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ पैथेटिक फैलेसी, योर आंसर शुड बी जॉन रस्किन. Thomas Carlyle is very famous essayist, okay, who has written Sartis and Resartis. Very good. Dover Beach is an important poetry by Matthew Arnold. What about J.S. Mill? Do you know J.S. Mill, who is an important writer? J.S. Mill का important work कौन कौन सा है? Do you know that? Yes, students. Okay, let's move to the next question. Which of the following plays by Christopher Marlowe has epic features? Dr. Faustus, Edward II, Hero and Leander, and the Tamburlaine the Great. You know, all these four plays are famous plays written by Christopher Marlowe. Christopher Marlowe, who is regarded as a pure tragedian. यहां से भी क्वेश्चन आपके एग्जाम में पूछा जाएगा. He is regarded as the pure tragedian because he had written basically tragedies. If you find the comedy of, you can say, in comedies, basically in the context of university wit writers, Christopher Marlowe, among all those university wit pamphleteers and playwrights, Christopher Marlowe was the most influential writer, who is the author of all these important plays like Dr. Faustus, where he has tried to portray the ambition, the curiosity, the eagerness of the protagonist, Dr. Faustus. Finally, his eagerness, his curiosity became his downfall, became the reason for his downfall. Though we will be not discussing it again. So here in this question, you have to find out that which of the following play of Dr. Faustus having epic feature. Most of you are saying Tamburlaine, and it is correct option क्योंकि Dr. Faustus is very important and popular play. Edward II, Hero and Leander, you all know. All these university wit writers try to contain heroic theme in their writings. Heroism is an important concept you can find in the writings of university wit writers. Okay, next question for you is, a curtal sonnet consists of? You all know about curtal sonnet. It is curtal. Sonnet consists of whether 11 lines, okay, or 12 lines, 13 lines or 14 lines. A. Sambhavi is saying A. What about other students? 11 lines. Curtal sonnet. Can you tell me who has given the concept of curtal sonnets? There's also another concept, sprung rhythm. और यहां से भी क्वेश्चन आपके एग्जाम में आया है. Who has given the concept of sprung rhythm? Yes, A is the correct option. A curtal line contains 11 lines. But when we talk about sonnet, when we talk about sonnets, basically sonnet contains 14 lines written in iambic pentameter. Okay? Basically, you all know there are two types of sonnets, Petrarchan sonnets and Shakespearean sonnet. और आपके एग्जाम में राइम स्कीम से क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है कई बार, तो आप याद रखिएगा. कैन यू टेल मी Petrarchan sonnet and Shakespearean sonnet, which is also known as English sonnet और Elizabethan sonnet. ओके, आपके एग्जाम में डायरेक्टली क्वेश्चंस राइम स्कीम से पूछे गए हैं. Yes, G.M. Hopkins propounded the concept of quartile sonnet and sprung rhythm. ठीक है, G.M. Hopkins, very important poet. Can you tell me from which literary period G.M. Hopkins belongs to? From which literary periods G.M. Hopkins belongs to? G.M. Hopkins किस particular literary period से हैं? What is his age? From which literary period he belongs to? बताइए. Victorian age. Yes, G.M. Hopkins, very important writer in Victorian age, and question एग्जाम में आया हुआ है क्योंकि कई बार क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में डायरेक्टली लिटरेरी पीरियड से पूछा जाता है. किसी मेजर ऑथर का नाम रहेगा और आपसे पूछा जाएगा कि ये रिस्पेक्टिव जो ऑथर है, ये जो ऑथर है वो किस पर्टिकुलर लिटरेरी एज से बिलोंग करते हैं. Must remember about the concept of quartile sonnets, which contains 11 lines, and sonnet primarily contains 14 lines. You all know there are two types of sonnets, Petrarchan sonnets and English sonnet, which is known as Shakespearean sonnet. Petrarchan sonnet का जो rhyme scheme होता है, that is ABBA, ABBA, CDC, CDC. Because the pattern of Petrarchan sonnet is, you can say, that is octave and sestet. ठीक है? No, at this time you cannot opt any other book. You can revise all those things which you have learned so far. Okay? Yes, I was talking about rhyme scheme of Petrarchan sonnet and Shakespearean sonnet. So the rhyme scheme of Petrarchan sonnet, you must remember, it is of ABBA, CDC, CDC, because the pattern of Petrarchan sonnet was of octave and sestet. But in English sonnet you have rhyme scheme AB. Okay, AB, CD, EF, G. These are two important rhyme schemes you must remember. So I hope this question is clear to you all. Is that clear? Do you want to ask any other question? Is that clear? Should I move to other question? Next question. So the next question for you is, The Unfortunate Traveler has been authored by. See, the direct question was asked by NTA from author's work. Here you have to find it out that who is the author of the work, The Unfortunate Traveler. You have options: Robert Greene, Thomas Delaney, Thomas Nash and Thomas Lodge. What would be the correct option? It would be Thomas Nash. Very good. Thomas Nash, who also belongs to University Wit, very important writer in the group of University Wit, and he has written The Unfortunate Traveler, जहां से एग्जाम में कई बार क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है. Can you tell me in which year The Unfortunate Traveler was published? In which year The Unfortunate Traveler was published? The Life of Jack Wilton, 1594. Very good. And you can see Robert Greene and Thomas Lodge, who are also there in the options. These are also, these writers, these playwrights also belong to the same group, which is University Wit. The next important question for you is, which of the following novels has a great impact on the formal experimentation in contemporary fiction? Formal experimentation in contemporary fiction. That is Thomas Nash, The Unfortunate Traveler, Henry Fielding's Tom Jones, Lawrence Stone's Tristram Shandy, or Samuel Richardson's Pamela. What would be the correct option? A formal experimentation in contemporary fiction. जल्दी बताइए, I am looking at your options. Someone is saying Pamela, someone is saying Tristram Shandy. What would be the correct option? So I am giving you this question as your homework, because you know all these four works are very famous. All these four writings are very famous. And it is quite confusing though among Pamela and Tristram Shandy. इन दोनों में से कोई एक होगा ऐसा लगता है आप लोगों को. So I am giving you this question as your homework, and I'll be asking you in the next session. I'll be discussing this question. This is very interesting question, and you also need to remember all these four titles. That is The Unfortunate Traveler, which is a major work written by Thomas Nash. Henry Fielding's major work, popular work, which is Tom Jones, and Lawrence Stone has written Tristram Shandy, and Samuel Richardson has written Pamela. Okay, so consider this question, it's very interesting. Alright, the next question for you is, the term egoistical sublime was coined by which of the following author? Samuel Taylor Coleridge, John Keats, William Wordsworth, and William Hazlitt. It's quite easy question, right? Because you all know John Keats is the correct option. Huh? See, be very careful. Question आपसे पूछ रहा है, the term egoistical sublime was coined by. अगर ये term, ये question, इसको थोड़ा हम मोल्ड करते हैं. अगर क्वेश्चन रहेगा, the term egoistical sublime John Keats had coined for which of the following author? आंसर क्या होगा आपका? Most of you are saying C, B. See, this is very easy question. You are being asked at who has coined the term egoistical sublime. The question is not about that for whom John Keats has coined the word. So B is the correct option. Okay. Egoistical sublime का जो coinage है वो किसके लिए है? विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थ के लिए है. Okay, John Keats had coined this term egoistical sublime for writer William Wordsworth. Is it correct? समझ में आया? मैंने आपको एग्जाम्पल दिया कि यही सेम क्वेश्चन आपको थोड़ा मोल्ड करके पूछा जाए कि द टर्म इगोइस्टिकल सबलाइम coined by John Keats for whom, for which writer? So your answer must be William Wordsworth. ठीक है, तो ऐसे क्वेश्चंस एग्जाम में आते रहते हैं, कंफ्यूजन की बात नहीं है, कंफ्यूज मत होना. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर यू इज put the following novels of George Eliot. You know, George Eliot is very important writer of English literature. You will have to arrange the novels of George Eliot in sequential order and answer the question with the help of the code. Code is given, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. You know that all these works are important works written by George Eliot like Middlemarch, Daniel Deronda, Felix Holt, The Radical and Romola. You will have to arrange these works chronologically because George Eliot is very important novelist and his publication, like his writing, the names, the titles of Eliot's writings must be clear to you. Okay, so you are saying C. B or C? What would be the answer? पहले मिडिल मार्च लिखा गया था या पहले रोमोला लिखा गया था? बेटा ये जो क्वेश्चन है ना, क्रोनोलॉजी बेस्ड क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में हमेशा पूछा जाता है, इसीलिए मैं बार बार कहती हूँ कि जो मेजर ऑथर्स हैं एटलीस्ट उनके वर्क्स के पब्लिकेशन को आप याद रखो. दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन इज नोन एज क्रोनोलॉजी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस. सो योर करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज सी. ओके, Romola, Felix Holt, Middlemarch and Daniel Deronda. Right? And you must be very clear about the publication year. Okay? Publication year भी आपको अच्छे से याद होना चाहिए. Is it right? Next question for you is, which of the following poem by John Keats uses the Spenserian stanza? You all know Edmund Spenser. Edmund Spenser, who is an important poet in Elizabethan period, who has written the Fairy Queen. And the stanza of Edmund Spenser is known as Spenserian stanza. आपको बताना है कि जॉन कीट्स का कौन सा वर्क स्पेंसेरियन स्टैंजा में लिखा गया है. यू नो, इंडीनियन, द फॉल ऑफ हाइपेरियन, द एब ऑफ सेंट एग्नेस एंड लामिया. These are important poems by John Keats. What would be your answer? Very good. The Eve of Saint Agnes is written in Spenserian stanza. Can you tell me an important line from Endymion? Endymion, which is an important poetry written by John Keats. Can you tell me an important line from this particular poem? Because the line was asked for several times in your exam. What would be the line? Which is the famous line? Yes, a thing of beauty is joy forever. This work was written in the poem Endymion, and beauty is truth, truth, beauty. That particular work he has, that particular line he has written in the poem entitled as Ode on a Grayson Earth. और क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में इन दोनों पोएम से आया है और ये दोनों लाइंस पूछे गए हैं. तो आप बिल्कुल कंफ्यूज मत होना. अब ब्यूटी इज ट्रुथ, ट्रुथ ब्यूटी. दिस लाइन इज रिटन इन द पोएम एंटाइटल्ड ओड ऑन अ ग्रेसन अर्न, and this particular line, that is a thing of beauty is joy forever, written in the poem that is Endymion. Okay, next question for you is, which of the following works of John Milton is an elegy? कौन सा वर्क जॉन मिल्टन का एलिजी है? लिसिडास, एल्गेरो, कैमस और पैराडाइज लॉस्ट. Which of the following work of John Milton is an elegy? This is quite easy question, isn't it? Lycidas, very good. Lycidas is considered as one of the most influential elegiac elegy written in English literature. Can you tell me for whom he had written this elegy? For whom Milton had written elegy entitled as Lycidas? Very good. You all are very smart. You all have remembered these questions, these facts. Well done, students. Well done. I'm really very happy to see you all, to see your answers correctly. Keep going. Yes, he had written Lycidas for Edward King. And this question was asked in your examination. See, अभी ये क्वेश्चन आया है कि कौन सा एलिजी है. क्वेश्चन ऐसे भी पूछा जा सकते हैं कि किसके लिए लिखा गया है. John Milton had written elegy entitled as the Lycidas for which of the following author? For whom Lycidas is written? ठीक है, by John Milton. तो याद रखिएगा, for his friend Edward King. And Algero and El Penseriso, these are also very important writings of John Milton. Can you tell me what is the meaning of Algero and El Penseriso? Happiness and sorrow, right? So you must remember this particular literal meaning of the work as well. And you all know about Paradise Lost, the most important epic poem by John Milton. Can you tell me in which year he has written the Paradise Lost? क्योंकि publication year से question exam में कई बार पूछा गया है. In which year Paradise Lost was published? बताइए. (1667 to 1671). So please look at all these works of Now another question from assertions regions. Read the following statements and the region given for it. Choose the right response. Assertion where you have statement, Gulliver's Travels earned Jonathan Swift the bad name of being misanthrope. And the reason for this is that Swift in the novel was neutral to the image of man. Now you have to find out which is the correct option. Whether assertion is right or reason is correct or not. Whether assertion and reason, both of these statements are correct. You have to find it out. Gulliver's Travels, which is considered as very important work, satirical work of Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift, who is very influential writer, satirist, who has written a modest proposal. Right, and he was there in the latter part of the 18th century. Great writer, and these works are really amazing, like Gulliver's Travels, which is divided into different voyages of Lemuel Gulliver, the protagonist of the work. He had also written a modest proposal. So yes, what would be the correct option? In the assertion, it is said Gulliver's Travels earned Jonathan Swift the bad name of being a misanthrope. Some critics made this statement that Jonathan Swift sounds misanthrope who hates human being, and Swift in the novel was neutral to the image of man. What would be the correct option? Although it depends on perspective, this question can be dropped, but as of now you can see that A is true but R is false, because He was not neutral to the image of man. He was continuously satirizing all those societies in his different voices. Alright, so C is the correct option. Who among the following does not belong to the great tradition enunciated by F.R. Lewis? You all know F.R. Lewis is very important writer of new criticism. He was a new critique. In the last class I was talking about new critique. You have to figure it out which among the following does not belong to great tradition. Great tradition, which is an important work by F.R. Lewis. You all know other new critiques. Can you tell me the name of other new critiques? Who are other new critiques? Like I.A. Richard, William Ampson, Clint Brooke, right? Wimsatt and Berzelius and F.R. Lewis. These writers, these theorists, these new critics mainly focused on the meaning of the text. For them, text is everything. Okay, they all were trying to generate meaning out of the text. Words were there on the paper and they were trying to figure out the meanings. Okay, text is everything for them. For them, it does not matter whether you have gone through the biography of author or not. Author's personal background, literary background and biography of the author is not needed to read the work of the particular author. Text is everything for them. And you must remember those names. So, John Crowe Ransom has, yes, coined the term new criticism. Who among the following does not belong to the great tradition? Joseph Conrad, James Joyce, Jane Austen and George Eliot. It is Eliot, it is Jane Austen. Again, it is very interesting question. And all these writers are very important writers. Joseph Conrad, who has written Heart of Darkness. ये जो ऐसे है, इससे भी कई बार क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है नेट के एग्जाम में भी. Heart of Darkness. James Joyce, who is the author of an important work. Can you tell me that important work? A Portrait of the Artist as Young Man. Jane Austen, who has written Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibilities, Emma Northanger Abbey and Persuasions. George Eliot, The Mill on the Floss and other writings. You also look at this question. Okay? I'll be discussing both of these questions in the upcoming session. This is again very interesting. The expression murderous innocence is an example of, sometimes they ask questions from important literary terms. I'll be discussing that those literary terms tomorrow. Your class is not being scheduled for tomorrow, right? Okay. So whenever I'll be taking your next session, I'll be discussing these questions there. And yes, in your homework, you must look at these two questions. These two questions are really important and interesting. If you'll figure it out, you'll find so much fun. So I hope you all have enjoyed this session. All things are clear which I taught you today, which I told you. All these questions are really significant for your exam. In the next session, I'll bring other important questions and I'll be explaining in detailed manner. after this session, if you are satisfied, if you enjoyed this session, you can make your review in the comment box. All right, don't forget to make your reviews there. Don't forget to put your reviews there. Those reviews really matter to me. I will go through each and every comment of yours. Okay, so stay tuned with Malviya Academy. You can consider crash course batch as well, and in all these upcoming sessions, I'll be providing you important questions. Yes, I'll try to take your sessions for 2 hours. Okay. Yes, I'll take marathon as well for 12 hours. If you guys are ready for the marathon, I'll take that. Okay. So, alright students, thank you all. That I'll be taking, Datta, don't worry for that, okay? Probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Don't worry, you don't need to be worried, right? I have remembered everything. Okay, okay. So, yes. Thank you all. Take care and keep revising. Should I end this session? Do you have any confusion, any question? Do you want to ask anything? Okay, so if you guys are ready, I can take marathon for 12 hours. Right? Maha Marathon. Are you ready for 12 hours? That would be of so much fun, right? We will be discussing really 500 questions in a day in one class. Okay, I'll be thinking, I'll be considering this, and I'll let you know very soon. You all will be notified for the Maha Marathon. Okay, beta, you can also consider this link, this class, to share among your friends who are also preparing for CUET MA English exam, because this class and whatever I am delivering to you all is very significant for those students who are preparing for CUET MA English exam. So you can share this link in your group with your friends who will be benefited as well. Alright, and don't forget to make your review in the comment box. So okay, see you all. Keep revising all those facts. Those facts are really important, and in the next session I'll bring more questions for you, and those questions will be of so much importance. Okay, bye, take care.